Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Mukherjee is with us now. Udin, good morning. Uh, last time I spoke to you, the markets were at all-time high. Didn't feel like all-time high though. The last 2 weeks have been different. There's been a broader participation in the market. Your thoughts on that?
Morning, Anuj. It is indeed. In the last 10 days, mid-caps and small caps have bounced back. And I mean, in a sense, it was inevitable because this could not have continued for very much longer. The fact that 5 or 6 stocks were driving the index, the rest of the market was languishing. In any case, mid-caps had fallen 20% plus and they were ripe for a bounce. So it's been interesting the last 10 days, and I think the market would be in a much better mood right now. The last time you're correct in pointing out that it did not feel like an all-time high. Even now, I think there's a lot of catch-up to do from the smaller stocks, but at least a start has been made. I think some things technically have also turned around a bit. The fact that FI selling has abated. In fact, there have been inflows over the last 10 days or so. That on the margin has alleviated some of the technical pressure on the market. So yes, I think the start of the earnings season or the first couple of earnings season has heralded a better kind of a framework for the market. And the Nifty still doesn't look like it is done with this up move because we had a 100-point kind of a dip which got bought so quickly that it appears that the momentum is still favoring the bulls for the near term.
Good morning, Uday, and always good to have you with us. You're sporting a green tie, so is Anuj. I mean, there is this bull's unstoppable feeling, both globally as well as in India. Does it feel like 2004, 2005?
We've discussed this many times, Lata. But the circumstances were slightly different out there, and but many things are very different from 2004 and now. So the key, I think, is going to be earnings because the starting valuations are quite elevated right now. So it's very difficult to envisage the market skyrocketing like it did over the 3-year period or 4-year period then. So I think our return expectations should not be that elevated from this kind of starting level. So it would be very surprising if the market just sort of doubled or trebled in the next 3 years or so from here on. For that, earnings will have to really surprise on the way up. The earnings season this time, if you look at it from a granular level, has been encouraging. There is no doubt about that. Overall, at a composite level, I think we are still weak because some disappointment or the other is taking away from the Nifty. Sometimes it's ICICI, sometimes it's SBI, sometimes it's Tata Motors. So I think you will still see a lot of downgrades at the end of this earnings season. You may have seen them already. So we are not at pegging away at 20-25% earnings growth yet because of these big disappointments. But if you look below that, I think there have been enough encouraging news this time around from earnings season. So I'm keeping fingers crossed for the next couple of weeks to see if we can end it feeling much better than we did at the end of Q4.
Okay, well then stay on. We just need to address the market opening. I mean, it's opened 40 points higher in pre-open and the Bank Nifty 75 point higher. Ashwini, your thoughts on pre-open and what would be your 9-10 call?
The call is the same. You're opening at, after a big rally, another 40 points higher. So you have to wait for 20-30 point dip at least to buy. And 9-10, I would probably go with Axis Bank because that rally started just on Friday. So any sort of dip, if you get there, that's a buy with a stop of 570, target of 625. Today, should be a broadly up day, but with a bit more volatility than we had on Friday.
Okay, Udayan, good morning. We have a very interesting listing at an interesting time. I'm talking about HDFC AMC when the mood is back buoyant, markets at all-time highs. Just your thoughts on the AMC space as well in general, because we've got some other listed plays. I mean, partially in Aditya Birla Capital, Reliance Nippon. That stock kind of fell off the doldrums. But anyway, how do you look at AMCs and specifically HDFC?
Surabhi, it's important to understand the construct of the market right now. I think there is an extreme premium that people are willing to pay for quality and pedigree. That much is clear about if you look at the kind of performance of stocks that we've had this year, particularly in the last two or 3 months. Now, HDFC ticks off all these boxes. Great parentage, excellent pedigree, proven track record. And there is no comparison between Reliance AMC and HDFC AMC on those parameters. So whatever you want to ascribe in terms of earnings growth for any of these two stocks, the PE multiple will be vastly different, because in the PE all these things go in, which is your pedigree, parentage, management quality, etc. And I think HDFC will always command a huge premium to Reliance AMC because of the ownership of these, or the disparity in ownership between these two groups. But having said that, it's a good space. It's growing at 20% plus. Return on equity for HDFC AMC particularly is very good. The only wrinkle, and I'm nitpicking out here, is that these stocks are coming into the market at a time when the mood on AMCs as a business and mutual funds is probably at the peak that we have ever seen. You know, everybody understands it's a great theme. SIPs are taking off, it's underpenetrated, and therefore the chance of exuberant valuations are very high. And HDFC particularly, because everybody will want to own that stock as the marquee one in that space. So I'm not saying that the stock will tank after listing at 1600 or wherever today, but is today the best day to own the stock or buy the stock? Perhaps not, because you know these stocks also tend to be a bit cyclical. Right now it's an upcycle, and sometimes you'll find it at a bit of a down cycle and at slightly moderated valuations, and those might be better times to accumulate this theme, good pedigree, but I think it will probably trade, at least for the near term, at fairly frothy valuations.
Okay, yes.